to do something a little different. I'm going to talk through the video. Maybe that will give you a little bit more clarity slash insight slash whatever. Whatever makes your heart happy. But let's get to business. All right, we're going to do this on a 24 by 24 inch wooden panel that I made myself using, I think, 1 by 0.5 inch long wood. I can show you an example because I don't really know. But these, you can see this one's already from where it was cut, but I cut at a 45-degree angle. I measure each side because I buy the wood. Well, this one, it was pre-cut. I think this is birch wood. Note, very important note. When you buy these from, let's say, Lowe's Hardware or whatever, just because it says 24 by 24, they are lying, and it is not exact. So, please measure before you decide to cut the wood, especially if you're using a hand saw thing, because it is no fun to have to go back and redo it, because they lied, and it's really like 24.3 inches by 24.1 inches, but every little bit matters. And you build your frame around the bottom, lay the wood on top, you nail in minimally, as minimal amount of nails as possible, but once you pour the resin, it doesn't really matter. I sand it down. But anyway, so back to the video. Today we're going to use, I think, but this is the famous, that everyone knows about, the Extreme Sheen Decor 24 karat gold. I don't have much, so we're going to hope it works. I'm going to add, some of this is like, I used to use this in my acrylic pours, but I believe it's like an alcohol-based thing, but this is also sunset gold, so I'm going to add that with the 24 karat. Then we're going to use the FW pearlescent liquid acrylics. This is in the color Waterfall Green, so it is metallic. Then we have the FW pearlescent Sundown Magenta, again metallic. Then I have the Flow Art Resin Liquid Pigments in purple. It is a possibility that I will add some of this Tattered Angels Glimmer Mist. I think I have adapted this original color at some point, but it's supposed to be called, what color are you? Amethyst. Okay, I hear you. Then the Flow Art Resin Liquid Pigments in white, as always, I am in love with. Today we're using Clearcast 7000. The resin calculator said I needed 20 ounces. Anybody who has poured on wooden boards or does resin art knows that that is not right. So, we're going to shoot for 24 ounces and hope it doesn't heat up too fast, because that can pose a bit of a problem. I don't think it will, but we're going to go with it. This is a 1-to-1 mix ratio, so I'm going to do the same amount of part A as I do part B. In this case, I'll be using 12 ounces of part A. I usually mix my white in the big one because I flood it with white. So we're going to need 1, 2, 3, 4 that we know of for a fact. Plus this will be white. I'm going to bring out a 5th for some clear resin. I don't have any house paint in here, which typically I use like just a dab of. It's a little over 12. So we'll see how this goes. So that was a little over 12 ounces, like at just a tad. So I'm going to make sure that the same amount is going above the line of 24 ounces. You're going to let that sit for about 5 minutes to degas. I'm going to go ahead and put some colors in here. You want to shake your acrylic inks, especially if they're metallic. And because it's going to have a few minutes to sit, I'm not too worried about it. The general rule of thumb is 10% pigment to 90% resin. Now, I'm sure you're probably aware that every type of paint that you add, or if it's a resin tint product, liquid pigment, or if it is powders, everything varies a little bit. So I always keep my colors close by when I'm making the actual resin. So, oh my god, I hope there's, like, I don't even know. Looky there. Thought I didn't have any in there. That is cutting it close, you guys. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put this upside down while I wait. It is all over the stick, so. And this is in like a spray bottle, but yeah, like it doesn't usually work out so well. Didn't want much of that. Okay, so gonna add a little bit of gold, a little bit of purple, a little bit of teal, a little bit of magenta, and actually for today I'm going to do 2 whites. I'm not going to do a clear. I tend to run out of white when I desperately need it, so it's nice to have some put aside. Oh, now, when you use these Flow Art pigments, you want to make sure after you have them mixed, or it's important to me, that they are not translucent. Because I need them to be very pigmented. Can you even see me? Come on. So, as you can see, I cannot see through that. I don't know if you can, but if you can, you got better eyes than me. Let's check on our gold. And, oh my God. You do not wish to pour a piece of wood onto your painting, I can assure you. And since I scraped that paint out, I have a lot of the pigment on the top of the stick, so I'm going to make sure I don't waste any of that. This is the purple that I added that other stuff into, the liquid stuff. This is the most pigmented purple. But at the same time, it's a little bit translucent, but it's just a very strong pigment. So I don't think that my addition of shimmer did a dang thing. Now remember the 10% rule that I told you? There's a very good reason for that. And, oh, I don't have it with me, but I will grab it in a minute. I can show you why, because the other day when I was mixing purples, I decided it was too dark of a purple. Went to add a lighter purple. Oh my God. And I looked down, and that was a bubbly, smoking, lava-looking, oh my God, it was dangerous. And it scared me half to death because it was too much pigmentation and the resin, so the resin overheated. It was a nightmare. So that is why that is very imperative. This color is gorgeous. I'm probably going to add a little more to that. And let's see where we are. If we have, yeah, buddy. Okay, now you can see the gold. It's a bit more where I would like it. To be honest, I think I would prefer much more of a pigmented gold than this. I'm a little bit afraid it's going to get washed out. And in fact, I'm going to see if I can get a couple more. Okay, that did absolutely nothing. So we're going to roll with that. The main colors I want to be present, or I'm hoping that are present in this piece, are this magenta and this teal-y turquoisey. So without overdoing it, hopefully I want to make sure that I have enough paint inside of it. Now, I'm going to move these. Keep my eye on them, make sure they don't start turning into a damn volcano. And we are going to just do it. Now this is going to require quite a bit more pigment, obviously, because I'm still left with about 16 ounces of paint. And I'm still on the fence, but I'm pretty sure that because my sides are already painted this dark black, I'm not that concerned about making sure there's full coverage. I think it might add a little bit of depth to the painting if it's just kind of draping off the sides. Can you see this? It looks good to me. Now remember, when you mix resin, every company's different. I usually get about 45 minutes of work time with the clear cast. That makes my heart happy, because any less than that and I would be a wee bit stressed, because I can be very wishy-washy. So it looks like we went with our original colors, I guess. So I'm just going to pour this on, the majority of it. And then I'm just going to spread. I should have grabbed my spreader thingy. Well, that one's gonna have quite a bit. At this point, this does not need to be perfect just yet because I have plenty more in the cup. This is basically to give me a little bit of insurance that I have plenty of resin prepared. I am going to rub in the sides as it falls down. The main goal is to not waste resin. Sometimes I'll pour around the sides first instead of just the middle, especially if I'm going for a highly coated side. Where I want lots of pigments on the side. Whereas I said earlier that this piece in particular is not a big concern. It's not even a big concern if some of the black shows through. That is why I picked the colors that I did, because I wasn't sure how it was going to work. But let's get back to, while I'm doing this, let's keep you busy. Let's talk about making your own wood boards. If you're not doing that already, I highly suggest it, because I was spending so much money on buying these wooden panels that it was intense. If I wanted to make anything of like a significant size, I mean, I was out $50, $60 on a panel. And it just started becoming feeling very ridiculously expensive. So I thought to myself, and this was a long time ago I started making them, but I thought to myself, no. I'd rather put my investment in the resin and the pigments if I was going to have to spend the money. So that was when I started making them, and it was probably one of the best decisions I've ever made. Okay. Now I'm kind of digging like the light coat, because I can see a little bit of the black. And actually that was a concern. We'll see. It is, if you ever get like junk, like I think that, I don't know what that is, a piece of wood. Probably from the stir stick, or the paint stick. But in your piece, it is best to get it out as soon as possible, because you do not want it to cure that way. As soon as I get done dumping this, I'm going to heat it with the torch just to get any initial air bubbles out. Okay, that's not junk. You don't want to scrape the container. Like that's the one I initially mixed in. So I'm not going to scrape it. Here's where the double ups come in. Oops. Because that resin may not be big. Now I am going to do some tilting, so I'm not going to be so particular about the coating of this, although I just saw something. Oh my god, this is just junked up. It's probably more noticeable because it is black background. I've never. Alright, so for this one, I do want it, like I said, a lot of negative space. So I'm going to do this. Some people get really crazy about drips or whatever, but I think it adds character. Some pieces, I mean, some of them I do not want drips, but this one is not going to be a big deal. I'm going to leave that there. I like using these little dingy cups for when I do this type of pour, because I can get a good squeeze on them. And I have more control. And I did not put purple over there for a reason. Doesn't mean I won't go back and add it, but. So this little happenstance are not meant to have drip. I'm going to make a little tiny puddle. And I did decide to do purple. Alright, so that gold is giving a very nice effect. Alrighty, I haven't even done anything to it, so we're going to add this to our little puddle. And back down here. Now, here's what's important. Remember the white that I had saved? I'm going to pour a little bit around my puddle. Oh, around the edge. This needs some in here. That gives me more room when I go to use the heater, blowgun, whatever. Now I'm going to take off this glove. Okay, so I will say this. I love that I can see the black on the side. Especially with these bright colors. It's really kind of special. So I'm pretty pleased so far. See, now this side has a lot more pigment, which I am digging on the side panel, but so I'm going to pick a little bit up and move it. So pretty much I'm done. I'm going to keep my eye on it for a while, for bubbles, what have you. Less is more a lot of times with resin or acrylic painting. And I have had to learn in the years that, for me at least, I always want to do something else, or like I really want to get rid of this, but I don't. Because a lot of times the resin will be your friend. Like, it will move and morph in a way that just happens to work if you let it do its thing. You give it its initial manipulation, and then let the resin be the resin. I don't know, but that, you're probably not a Dave Matthews fan. But if you are, that looks like a fire dancer, which is pretty rad. And if you're not, you should be. But that's another day. Another conversation. So, like I said, I'm going to keep my eye on this for the next about half hour for any dust or mainly air bubbles. And then I'm going to cover it. Usually with a questionable rigged TP. But knock on wood, I haven't had any issues yet with my questionable rigged TP. I usually use old boxes, especially ones from like large canvases that come with the like cardboard squares. That's my fave. Alright guys, well this was fun. I hope you enjoyed. I'll get you some close-up pictures in a moment's time. And I'll show you the final result. You will see it when this video is uploaded. Also, please remember to like and subscribe to my channel if you want to see more. And hit the bell when you subscribe, because that's what's going to give you notifications that I have posted a new video, blah, blah, blah. So yeah, that would be great. Thank you guys for supporting my channel as well. And I will see you guys back in just a little bit. Also, leave me a comment below on if you prefer this method of video where I'm talking you through the process, mumbling here and there, whatever it is I'm doing, or if you would rather have me just do the text, inserting the text in the video. But I want to know what you guys would rather have, so please do me a favor and let me know in the comments below. And that's it for the day. Catch you later.